Hello and welcome back to another week of Through the Lens. This week we are again covering our favorite family, the Kardashians, but this week there's not drama. This week we are going to talk all about authenticity, saying yes to things, stopping people pleasing, and just living that full F yes life. There's some great representations in this week's episode from the Kardashians. Make sure to like and subscribe if you don't ever want to miss it Through the Lens, and let's get started.
I've decided that 2023 was going to be the year of just saying yes to only the things I really want to do. And that includes date night because I typically go to bed about 7 o'clock.
Wow.
And that's no fun for anyone.
All right, we'll stop right there. As you heard Kris say, she has decided she is going to say yes to more things that essentially fill her soul in 2023. Many moons ago, when I had my podcast, The Unicorn Effect, I did a whole episode on living life from a full fuck yes. And you say, Ashley, what does that mean? First of all, we have to talk a little bit about how we've been conditioned to people please. We've been conditioned that if people around us aren't happy, we're not happy. Therefore, we need to ensure that everybody around us is happy, meaning we say yes to things that we don't want to do. First of all, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had, say, a friend call you up and invite you to something and you're like, let me think about it? If you're living a life of full F yes, or saying yes to things that fill your soul, that was an immediate full F no. If you have to sit and think about it, unless, of course, it is some sort of life-changing decision, jumping from an airplane, robbing a bank, whatever it may be, yeah, you may need to spend a little more time on that decision. But when you have doubt in your mind and you are living for other people, you are living for their validation, and essentially you are seeking your salvation in them, and you are sacrificing your own happiness because you think they're holding on to your happiness. You handed them, let's say happiness is contained in a backpack, you put that backpack on that person and were like, if I say no, they're going to run off with my happiness. But if I say yes, I get access to the happiness backpack. When in reality, that is not the case. You are the one in charge of your happiness. Only you can create your happiness, be in a happy place. Nobody else can do that for you. By Kris making this decision for this year is really a huge decision. I think oftentimes we use the Kardashians as what not to do or the drama, but they really do a lot of really great things when it comes to bettering themselves and taking steps to heal. By Kris doing this, she spent the majority of her life being managers for people and doing for other people. She's constantly saying yes. And also, again, we've talked about the Kardashians are huge on external gratification. And Kris is realizing that I've done that and I'm not happy. Like, I have constantly sought out external validation and it's not working. This year, I'm going to seek internal validation, and that's where her coming in and saying, I'm going to start doing more things that light me up. I'm going to say yes to more things that actually matter to me. Now, let's fast forward and let's hear what one really cool thing Kris is doing this year that she said yes to that she wouldn't normally say yes to.
It's for them to work out. I don't have a crystal ball. Okay. Shelly called and said that Meghan Trainor has written a new song, and the name of the song is I Am Your Mother. And she asked Shelly to ask me if I would be in her music video.
Oh, nice. Don't wear see-through clothes. That's my only...
See-through clothes?
I don't know what happened in these videos these days.
I think that ordinarily I would pass, but something's telling me this would be really fun.
If it makes you happy, do it.
This is really the year of me only saying yes to things that I really want to do. I think I'm going to tell Shelly it's a hard yes from me. And Corey.
I will give you a hard yes later on.
All right, Corey took it a little too far. But essentially, Meghan Trainor asked Kris to be in a music video. Let's be honest, Kris, where she is at in her status, in her income, her decision to say yes was not about any of that. She doesn't need that fame, that exposure. Heck, she's probably good friends with Meghan Trainor. I don't know, but essentially you can see that Kris is just doing this purely because she wants to. She thinks it is fun instead of some sort of obligation in order to gain something. When we are making our decisions out of fear, that's when we do things in order to gain something, because really that's fear that we don't have it unless we do this. When you're coming from that place of fear, the chances of you truly enjoying that event are slim to none, because you've already built up a sense of sacrifice in having to do this and resentment to the whole thing, because if it wasn't for needing this or you holding on to my happiness, I wouldn't have to do this. Again, if we go back to that friend that calls and hey, let's go grab some drinks tonight, and you're like, I just want to watch Ashley's videos on YouTube, but I'm gonna go because I didn't learn yet from Ashley that essentially that friend doesn't contain my happiness. If I want to stay home on the couch and watch Netflix tonight, I'm doing it for me, not going out. Again, by Kris making the decision to say yes to more things that light her up, this amazing opportunity was also presented to her. When we are living for others, we tend to miss the opportunities that are actually for us out there. And not because they're not there, but because we're not looking for them. We're not keeping our eyes open. Maybe Kris would have had too much other stuff going on and they would have called Shelly. Shelly would have been like, Kris is too busy. She doesn't have time for this. But Kris had already made it clear that, hey, I'm living a life of yes this year. Therefore, it allowed the opportunities to come in and it allowed her to receive them. Let's see how this event at the actual music video turns out. Is Kris, oh my gosh, because it's a lot of work. A music video is a lot of work. Or does she actually enjoy it because she did it for herself?
Hi, I'm Ashley, your favorite trauma coach, and you are watching Through the Lens of a Trauma Coach. With over 15 years of experience, you get to see me unpack some of your favorite people in the media today and understand what is going on. So if you're interested, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, remember you are worth it.
What are you doing today?
I'm doing a music video with Meghan Trainor.
I'm so excited. Oh, that's pretty. Should we do a ring?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ooh, this is pretty. This is very fancy and very small.
Okay, how cute is the song? Is it the best?
Oh, it's so cute.
I told you it's gonna be like your anthem. Do you think we should go see what the set looks like?
Yeah, they're ready.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. I said yes to this because this is fun and it's glamorous and it's Hollywood. I hope that I can live up to Meghan's expectation of what we're doing here today, because I don't want to let her down, but this is really a lot of work.
Oh, I'm on my video set with my vocal star here, Meghan Trainor.
I'm the feature.
And we're doing a song called I Am Your Mother, and I have no idea why, but she asked me to be in her video.
Because you're the mother of all mothers.
It's your video.
It's your video.
That's right.
Oh, that's great. When we look at that clip, look how happy Kris is. She is thoroughly enjoying herself. And I don't know if you caught it. She literally says, this is really hard, you guys. Not only is she enjoying herself, but she's also enjoying herself in something that could be seen as work and, a headache and a have to, but instead, this is a get to. She chose to. That is another piece of living a full F yes life instead of a full F no life. And that's because you are taking back control. Your conscious knows that you are choosing, and your subconscious knows that, we are in this together. This isn't happening to me. This is happening for me. And another thing is, Kris didn't put expectations on it, other than, I guess in some matters she did. She thought it would be fun, which it looks like it's a blast, but she didn't need any specific outcomes. there was nothing that lied in it. Kris is at a place where she's very happy in her life right now, or at least appears to be that way in the show. And therefore, her happiness didn't need to come from that. Instead, she brought her happiness with it. When we're making decisions and people are asking us to do things, or we're evaluating what next to do in our life, use your meter, use your full yes meter. If you have to sit and think about it, again, unless it's a major life-changing decision, and you're contemplating, what you're really doing is having to convince yourself to do it, which means that is not in alignment with your highest self. Your highest self is like that first instant thought you usually get. And then afterwards is when the ego comes in, the one that tries to hold you back, keep you in a state of fear, and it tries to convince you otherwise. I encourage you, live in a full yes life. Start practicing it. Start saying more no's. I know Kris is saying more yeses, but essentially she has to say more no's in order to free up the time to have time for more yeses. Now that we have covered Kris's yes life and you have learned how to do it yourself, we're moving on to Kim. Kim is going to Harvard Business School, and I'm going to use her time there as an opportunity to look into what true authenticity is. And you're probably like, Ashley, the Kardashians are their most unauthentic people. I thought that for a long time too. And yeah, there's probably parts of them that are doing for others, but they do have a sense of genuine authenticity, and that's one reason why they're freaking powerful. But we'll talk more about that. Let's check this out.
First off, thank you so much for coming. I think you know, of course, how much of an influence you have over culture and the social media platforms, but I hope that you also know, as a woman in business who's worked in finance, as probably the only woman in the room most of the time, you have been, honestly, probably the reason that I can also love glam, but be serious about being a businesswoman as well. And so when you think about
Okay, I want to pause right there for a second because we're going to talk into authenticity in a moment, but look at how the way in which Kim is being a lighthouse. It was just directly shared by that woman how Kim has been a huge lighthouse for her to live in her own authenticity. I think sometimes when we think authentic, it's that hippie person that doesn't need anything, doesn't wear makeup, and just doesn't care. That's authenticity. And I thought that was for a long time too, but that's not the case. Authenticity has nothing to do with the form. It has nothing to do with the way a person looks or the things they do. Instead, authenticity has everything to do with the content. What's going on inside? Are you in touch with your spirit? Are you in touch with what lights your spirit? Are you in touch with what the bigger purpose is here? And are you coming from a place of love in your actions? Because no matter what your actions are, because again, that's the effect. That is not the cause. That is the form. That is not the content. Whatever your actions are, if you started at the cause or the content of love, then it is going to be received by others from a place of love. Is going to be received as that love no matter what it looks like. For Kim, glam is authentic. And if we think back, Kris, she was super excited to do this music video because it was glamour in Hollywood. That's not maybe everybody's authenticity, because it doesn't matter what it looks like at the level of the form. Instead, it's the content and coming from a place of love. That is true authenticity. But look at the lighthouse that Kim got to be for others by just showing up from a place of love. Wow. Could you imagine if everybody stepped into authenticity and showed up from a place of love, what kind of world we would live in? Oh, that's a rabbit hole discussion, but it would be absolutely beautiful. So flipping beautiful. Okay, I'm going off on a tangent. Let's get back to this and hear a little bit more about how authenticity is covered in this discussion in regards to Kim building a badass business.
all of the things that you have changed, and I think Skims is very similar, where you've taken ownership of this category that was supposed to be shameful, and now it's something that can be celebrated, and you post all different women, all different shapes, in all the different Skims, and it's celebrated. So how much do you think about this when you either go into different product categories or when you expand into the skin or other things that you're working on within Skims, but also outside of it?
Yeah, I think there was like a defining moment when I was like, when I went to the White House, but I had just posted a bikini photo. And I was like, oh shit, are they gonna look at my Instagram and think I'm so inappropriate? But then I was like, when is being me gonna be okay?
Okay, I want to stop there again too, because it's very interesting. At that point when Kim went to the White House, she was pretty well known. She was a superstar. And I think oftentimes we look at superstars and think, oh, they have the ability to be authentic because they have all of these things. They have status already, they've already are influential, therefore they can be themselves. And it deters some of us from doing it ourselves because we think we have to be a certain way to get to a certain place in life, certain status, relationship, financial, whatever it may be. But what Kim is showing you and sharing is that realistically, even at that status place, that fear, that inability to feel secure in being authentic is also there because it has nothing to do with outside of yourself. It has nothing to do with the form. Again, it has nothing to do with your status, who you are, where you live, nothing. Or even the way you look. And it has everything to do with what is going on inside of you. Are you coming from a place of love? What Kim is sharing is that she had a real scenario going to the White House and fearing that it would impact her status. She wouldn't be taken seriously because she posted a bikini photo. Let's see how it continues on.
Because that is what I wanted to do. And then I literally asked someone and they were like, oh, please, no one cares. But I remember feeling like shameful of that and then thinking, but wait a minute, I want to still be me. And I actually think that people pay attention maybe more to some of the law stuff and the criminal justice reform stuff that I do because my feed isn't flooded with just cases and stories about justice reform. And if I could bring in that customer that might just be on there to look at my makeup or my bikini pic, and then they happen to fall into this story, and then they happen to change their heart about something that they maybe never thought that they would stumble across on my page, like that to me means more than anything. So I think being authentically you is really important, and I love that you can, show up to work in full glam and look amazing, but I don't think it's like a conscious decision within my brands of like, I want to be inclusive and I want to show that someone that typically maybe wouldn't wear this thong or this outfit is now I'm putting them in this. I think the way that our brand works, and with everything, is it's just who we are. Like, of course this person would be wearing this.
Okay. So I think how Kim wrapped that conversation up is absolutely beautiful because she pretty much narrowed it down to it just is. So it's not this super conscious decision. And I think that's where we've gotten in uneasy territory when it comes to authenticity. There's a huge movement of being authentically yourself. There has been back and forth over decades. But the problem is sometimes the pendulum is swung too far and it's actually a false created authenticity. When you really have to think about being authentic and create the authenticity and ensure that everybody else sees that you're being authentic, that's not authenticity. That is a facade of authenticity. True authenticity, like Kim said, is not, it just is. Because when you are coming from a place of love, it just is. It is not complicated. It is not a thought out decision. It just is. I keep saying it just is, but it just is. In reality, to get to a place of authenticity, we have to clear out all of the noise that is holding us back from our authentic selves, which is love. And when we're coming from a place of love, Kim talked about posting about her makeup or bikinis or her social justice reform that she's working on. And the reason why she's able to post all those things is because they're all coming from a place of love. She's doing it out of authenticity of what she loves to do. That love is felt. And that's why she is so influential, because people see this authenticity in her, which they actually know they have within, not consciously. This is all happening subconsciously. And she's a mirror. She is a mirror of what is possible for them, and they are attracted to that instead of doing their own work within. That's also an issue we run into, is when there's very authentic people, if we don't use it as a learning opportunity of the work that we need to do within, then instead we just project out and receive a false sense of authenticity, living vicariously through these people who are living authentically. When really they're a mirror. It's an opportunity to get curious about where we're not showing up in our lives the way this person is, and that's why we're so attracted to them. But it can also be the polar opposite, where they turn you off so bad because they are such a strong mirror and still doing certain things that you are unhappy about. That's the Kardashians today. Today we covered all about authenticity, living a full yes life as Kris is doing. And I think this week's episode, the biggest takeaways and reminders are authenticity isn't created, authenticity just is. A full yes life, you can show up for other people much better if you're showing up for yourself. And true reality is happiness only lies within. Nobody is carrying your happiness backpack around, even if you give it to them. They technically can't hold it. When you are in the moment of making a decision about should I do something, yes or no, and you are like having to convince yourself to say yes, then that is a full F no, and do not do it. Because when you start that train of showing up for things that truly you don't want to do, you're only doing out of fear, then that's how you show up in all your life. How we do one thing is how we do all things, and fear and love cannot coexist. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Through the Lens is not exclusive to the Kardashians, and we are thinking about covering 90 Day Fiancé. Stay tuned. Again, please post in the comments anything that you are seeking for us to cover, as well as I have a question I would love you to cover in the comments is, do you believe Kim is authentic, and do you believe Kris can stick to saying yes to more things that light her soul up instead of for other people? Again, make sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications, like this video, comment below, and stay tuned. We are going to, hopefully, cross your fingers, be doing 90 Day Fiancé if the new season comes out. And as always, remember you are worth it. So much love. Bye-bye.